What's up, everybody? Welcome to day 5 of NoFap. The time is 10:49 p.m. All the background noise you're hearing is my air conditioner, and I'm drying some clothes in the dryer right now. So if there's too much, I've been having, you probably heard this from my past videos, but I have my AC on blasting the whole time because it's like impossible to sleep at night at 80 degrees Fahrenheit. It's impossible. But I don't know. I went to a friend's house and she has her thermostat at 80 degrees. I slept over there once and I wanted to kill myself. I could not sleep. And we were supposed to go to Disneyland the next day. I was sleeping over at her house with like 3 other friends. I was sleeping on her couch and I wanted to kill myself. I could not sleep because of how hot it was. I looked at the thermostat, said 80 degrees. I'm like, these people are crazy. But anyway, I digress. I had a great July 4th, and I'm about to show you some footage right now. And it was great. I got to see fireworks all over the horizon. I got to spend some good quality time with friends. So, yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun. And woke up the next morning today. Went to church, came home, and just decided to take a day to rest, get ready for the week ahead. So, very, very fantastic July 4th. We got to see a fire in the hills that was picking up, and it lasted for about an hour and a half before firefighters put it out. But it was interesting to watch. But fireworks were going off for the entire night, all the way up till even when I was driving home, I saw fireworks. So, yeah, people went pretty crazy this year, obviously for a good reason. But I'd say one of my favorite July 4ths. So, good time, good time. Let's see, what did I do today? No, wait, I already explained that. How was NoFap for me on both days? Fine, because I was super busy July 4th, just partying, partying. And getting confession. I got confession before I went, so it's great. And then July after the day after, it was a good rest day. Good time to just relax, have a day off, and rest up for the upcoming week. My cough is getting. I can't say it's getting better. It's staying the same as of right now. I was trying so hard not to cough at church. You know when it's silent in a Catholic church and like you don't want to cough because you feel like it's going to disturb the procession? That was me. I was struggling super hard trying to keep a cough down. And keeping a cough down is way harder than keeping a sneeze down. But yeah, that was a good time. It was a good time. Anyway, got most of my chores done. Now I'm just drying clothes, and that's it. NoFap was easy today as well. And it was really just making the most of my rest, you know. Took a little bit of a nap and then just started enjoying my hobbies. I started, singing. I started reading a little bit, and I'll watch some videos here and there. Do some relaxing. Do low physical engagement stuff. Nothing too crazy on the mind, but just stuff I enjoy. And I find, I talked about this a few days, maybe a week before. It's like the more hobbies that I'm starting to pick up, the more I get to engage in releasing dopamine in a healthy way. So that's why it's been easier. That's why it's been easier, because when I engage in the hobbies and when I allow myself to engage in the hobbies as well, instead of just being like, what are you doing? You're enjoying yourself. Do something more productive. You got to pick up productive hobbies, So, yeah. That's how my NoFap went. It went pretty easy. It's pretty easy so far for day 5, which is surprising. Which is telling me that this whole dopamine menu stuff works. It's working for me. It's working for me. Every time I get the urge, I'm just like, all right, shadow box, And then pick up the guitar, sing a little bit, or start writing, or start reading, or start doing something. Start doing something. That's a good piece of advice. Start doing something. And I'm trying to stay off of social media. I'm trying to stay off of the easy dopamine grabs. The more I think about, like, the more I become aware of that stuff, the more it's just like, wow, I waste so much time just scrolling through Instagram reels, and it's like habitual. It's almost like I don't even think about it. I just get on the phone and then I just start doing it. It's habitual, and it's actually scary. Actually very scary how habitual it is. So I'm glad I'm starting to notice it, put the phone down and be like, let's do something. Immediately just put the phone down and just be like, what are we doing? Let's do something. Can't think of anything. Let's just shadow box and then think about it while shadow boxing, right? It's that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. Got to shout out to Mike again for those videos. Really helped. But anyway, let's get to your comments. Let's get to your comments today. I don't want to make a long video. I made long videos, 2 videos in a row. Let's make it short. Obviously, when I jump into your comments, I'm probably gonna end up making this a long video. I think the best part of the video, honestly, these updates are just for me, but interacting with the comments is like, it's like outside of working. It's one of my favorite things about making these videos is interacting with the comments. Like I could do all this update stuff about what's going on in my life every day, but at some point it's gonna be like, yeah, I did the same thing, again. I mean, I learned something new, or I'm dealing with this problem, but that's my day, right? Like that stuff feels like, I don't get a kick out of it. It's just like, okay, I said I was gonna do these vlogs. I'm gonna update you on stuff, but the real joy does come from talking with you guys. So, into the comments I go. Peace of mind, YouTube. Relapse today. Hey man, don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up about it. Analyze what went wrong, and make note of it. Make note of it. All right? Like, look at these past few weeks for me. I relapsed 4 times. Like, and every single time I've relapsed, it's been like, yeah, I relapsed. What went wrong? What did I do? Why did I engage in autopilot, and how? And is there a way to rewire that kind of thinking? Is there a way to, because the fight against your brain is probably the most profitable thing you can do, is think on stuff. Like, and a lot of people, and living in California and talking with some people, there are some people that truly just don't think deeply about certain topics. There are people that do not engage in any kind of level of higher thinking. There's a ton of people that just prefer surface level thought, and nobody gets really into the deep stuff. Like I'll give you an example. While I was at the July 4th party yesterday at, obviously you saw the footage. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and we were talking about dating, and he was talking to me about, like, he went on like a ton of dates. He went on a few dates with some girls that he seemed to really hit it off with, and they keep friend zoning him. And he's asking me, like, how come, as my dryer, he was asking me, how come you don't date? I know you say, like, you and I have the same desire to have a wife. How come you don't date? And I say, well, because I can tell immediately, just through looking, that this person's not ready to be a wife. Meanwhile, you ask, you go on date, you go on, you do all of this stuff, and then you get friend zoned, and you wonder what's going on. For me, I can tell immediately, this girl's not ready to be a wife. This girl can say she wants a husband, but is she ready to be a wife? And I explained to him so many times, like, there's a level of people that there are people that want to get married, but they don't understand that it is a vocation. It is a job. It is something that you got to be qualified for. If you're not qualified for it, then you're not going to be good at the job. And for men, the qualification is very simple. Do what husbands do. Protect your wives, provide for your wives, and love them, right? And then there's the other side of it, where what are wives expected to do? Respect your husbands and take care of his house and have kids and take care of his kids. Like, that's the kind of stuff that people have lost. Like, they see, even the people, these are Catholics I'm talking to, and they're like so blown away by what I'm saying, and I'm just like, dude, I know it says in the Bible, wives, respect your husbands, but have you explored what that means? Do you know what respecting a man means? And are you going to only respect the person you marry? Or are you going to start showing respect to show the person that you're hoping to marry that you make a good wife? Right? Same thing with the guys. Are you going to love this person that, and this really only applies to like people that are like serial daters and unserious, the guys that are really unserious, like, are you going to love your wife? And I'm not saying confess your love to her. I'm saying, are you going to show her you are capable of deep, profound love to the point where you will provide and protect for her, i.e. paying for the date, i.e. walking on the sidewalk rule, i.e. saying, hey, don't walk here by yourself, let me walk with you so that you're safe, all right? Or making avenues to do that. Like, I don't know how I got into this tangent, but don't beat yourself up, peace of mind. Don't beat yourself up for that. Just figure out what went wrong. That's my point. That went a little too long, and now we're already at 12 minutes. I'm sorry about that. I gotta stop doing that. Anyway, JD, hope you enjoy your 4th of July, bro. Thanks, man. Unfortunately, I'll be working in the evening. Oof, but at least I got holiday pay. That's nice. Just don't forget to remain disciplined and set your boundaries, of course. Yeah, people kept telling me to stay. Why are you leaving so early? It's like, he'll be back. And I'm just like, dude, I got mass tomorrow. Like, stop. Also, it's great that you forgave your friends for that betrayal. I know letting go of that grief and rage was probably very freeing for you. Yeah, it was. It definitely helped. It helped because that was my first confession when I did that with the priest, and he gave me some solid advice, and it just made the confirmation process so much more profound and so much more peaceful, So, yeah, letting go of that was huge. Like, actually letting go of that was huge, because before that I would say that I forgave him, but I never actually reached out and forgave him. So, yeah, there's a difference. There really is. Words can only carry so much meaning. Actions are far more telling. Anyway, question for you today is, reflecting on the 250th Independence Day and your Chinese heritage, what does being American mean to you? I have a very... This gets into politics a little bit for me. So, obviously, there's some personal opinions, of course, but I guess without going into the political side of it, I'm going to tell you what I think being an American means to me. And it's very simple. I'm nationally American, but I am not ethnically American. And everybody's going to be like, what's ethnically American? It's like, well, ethnically American is basically the people that built the country, right? Because what is a country? It's the people that decided to come together, make the laws, and say, this is our people and in their laws, right? So for me, an ethnically American person is basically a white European, for me, right? But that's, for me, that's the ethnic side of it. On the national side of it, I would say I am nationally American. So I'm ethnically Chinese. I'm nationally American because of my family history, and I won't go in too deep into that. There's a reason why I'm in America. But nationally American in that America's my team, right? If something goes on in China, I'm going to worry about my cousins. I'm not going to worry about the nation because I'm not a member of that nation's team. They're not my team. America's my team. Will I ever fully belong here? I think in the current climate, yeah, because there's a lot of stuff going on in America that's really weird. But this is my team, and I do want what's best for this team. And everybody's got an idea. Everybody's got an idea of what's best for this team. I will say this, reflecting on the 250th Independence Day, it is very, empires usually don't last this long. And this is a nation, but it's big enough to be called an empire. Let's be so real. Empires usually don't last this long. So it makes me start to question, again, this goes into the political side, but other than that, I am impressed that America's lasted this long and hasn't collapsed yet. Obviously, when we look at everything in the news, it's starting to feel that way, but for now it's still standing. For now it's still the global superpower of the world. For now it's still the greatest nation on earth. It still is. So yeah, I'm glad that I'm on Team America. I'm glad that I'm nationally American, and I'm happy that, the culture of this nation, I mean, it's being like freaking pulled left and right what the culture is. But, the things that when you think of America, that's what I think of as the culture of this nation. The American accent, which obviously if you're American, you're like, oh right, that's right. This is an English dialect. But the American accent, apple pie, cowboys, rodeos, and all that stuff. What else is American? Burgers, all of that stuff. I like it. I like all of it. I'm happy to be a part of it, and I'm a very patriotic person. I like this place, and I want what's best for this place. And sometimes what's best for this place is a less of people that look like me. But that's a topic for a different day. But anyway, yeah, I like it. I like being American. Nationally. Anyway, Mike. Butterfly Effect hit the nail on the head with his comment. Before you even read it, I was thinking to tell you to find your answer from Jesus in Matthew 6:25-34. Please do. You actually mentioned the final phrase of it. Yeah. The fowls and the lilies don't have anything to merit God's grace and favor, and neither do you. It's in their DNA to be fowls and lilies. Since Eden, though, it's been in man's nature to do evil. For that reason, we have to do our part. But that part is to have faith and trust in God's grace. Part of that is to surrender our will to His and stop trying to earn His grace, which Ephesians 2, 8-9. That's scary, but that's why I told you that bravery is more important than strength. Put it another way, you have to get out of God's way. If God wants you to succeed in business, He'll bless your business. If He wants you to succeed in acting, He'll send you a breakthrough role. If neither, He'll send you a better alternative. And whatever He sends, you should be the best foal or lily that you can. But note that foals aren't working to become lilies or vice versa. Blessings, brother. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I will say this, I did start my business with express purpose of getting rich. Do I enjoy it? Did I enjoy it at the time? No, it was for the whole goal of it was get rich, so that I'm irresistible to women, so that I can find a good one, marry her, and have a ton of kids. being honest here. That's how I started my business. But I'll admit this. After starting my business and learning about it and getting into it, I became extremely fascinated with trying to make this work. It's actually been, I played so much less video games since starting my business because this is like a puzzle, an infinite puzzle that I want to be able to solve, right? And there's levels to this. Once you solve one thing, it's merely a cog in a million other things you have to solve in order to make this thing work. And I have only ever broken even, and I'm still kind of operating at a loss, but I'm so invested to making this work because it's so fascinating to me that if I can make this work, all I need to do is make this work once, and then boom, I'll have a successful business, which is extremely difficult and not a lot of people can say that they have a successful business. So it started out with a desire for all of these other things, but now it's like I genuinely want to try and make this business work. And to make it work, if it works, I get rich off of it, which is great. That's merely a byproduct. But this is such a huge, this is such like a mountain to climb that I'm like, I want to conquer this mountain. Like I truly do. I truly want to conquer this mountain. I truly want to see if I can make this work. I truly want to overcome this for the sake of overcoming it, because not a lot of people can. And that excites me. That truly does excite me. The money's fine. I'll probably be throwing most of the money back into the business anyway, but I want to see if I can make this work, you know? And there's so many skills that go into this. Video editing, advertising, marketing, and so many different strategies. Like, the amount of strategies that I've read through and have tried myself is like, I've been at this for 3 years. It's nonstop. I'm learning something new every time I dig deeper into this, of like how a business works, what works in advertising, what works in marketing, how to retain like attention and stuff like that. It's so fascinating. So yeah, definitely. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. And as somebody that's, this is stuff I've read. This is stuff I know about. This is stuff because I grew up with all this stuff. It's only now that I'm starting to realize I didn't understand it at all, because now, for the past 3 years of my life, 4 years of my life, I've been trying to, like I said in my last video, I've been taking control. Because before that, I haven't been really taking control. And I haven't been trying. But now I'm taking control and trying. And now I'm trying to try and let go of control. And now all of a sudden, these verses and, all these parables are starting to come up. It's just like, oh, now I understand. Now I get it. And it's hard. Now I understand why it's mentioned so many times in the Bible, and now I understand why it's difficult. Why it's mentioned so many times, because of how important it is. Why, Paul writes about it, Jesus spoke about it, and men fell to it so many times, right? So I'm starting to have a deeper understanding of what all those verses mean. Because now it's personal. Now it's just like, oh, I am that kind of person grasping for control, because I've seen what my life looks like when I don't have control and don't try. Now I've seen what my life looks when I do have control and I do try. And now I'm struggling with, and I'm curious to see what my life looks like when I don't have control and still try. So, yeah. And also, if I can pull it off. if I can pull it off, you know. I still remember the kind of fire I had in me when I was trying to take control of everything. I remember how hard I worked. I remember all the pain I ignored. I remember all the things I did, all the extreme things I did as well, destroying my body to make it strong. And now I have to do all those things for a different purpose. So it's, how much do I believe in this purpose? Because I believed in the purpose of my old flame. How much do I believe in the purpose of this new flame, where I can do all those things, or at least to a degree? So only one way to find out is to start. Only one way to find out is to actually start doing it. So I'm gonna start doing it. But anyway, thanks Mike. You're always a real one. Butterfly effect. I don't usually comment on videos, but I understand exactly what you're going through. Hey man, I'm really glad you did. I am really glad you did. You're leading, you're directing. I wouldn't say you're directing, but you're influencing my life in a positive way. So thank you. I have been in the same camp as far as feeling peace in my spirit, but also a strange void and loss of motivation in my soul. When I discovered Watchman Nee, everything clicked. I could finally see the sabotage of the soul and the flesh trying to suppress my spirit from breaking free. I'm actually going to take note of this name right now. Put that on a separate window. Is this a Chinese dude? From Guangdong? That means he speaks Cantonese. Wow. Tai Ho. Tai Ho. Alright. Anyway, sorry. Had a Chinese moment. I've also been on NoFap for years. I do fail, but I believe the key is refusing to become complacent and unbothered by sin. The only difference between the saints and sinners is that the saints belong to God. Being a saint doesn't mean you're perfect. It means everything you are and will be is for the glory and worship of God. Listen to those Watchman Nee audiobooks and you'll learn a ton. I still have lots to go through because some are over 8 hours long, but it's worth it. Hey, I remember listening to an audiobook of the 48 Rules of Power, 48 Laws of Power. I don't remember a single law except for the first one. But it was like 11 hours long. So if it's only 8 hours long, it's no big deal. Just watch out for the enemy's tactics right now. Satan loves to exploit the silence of this transition phase. When you feel that sudden panic about the future or the urge to go back to your old rage, realize that's a spiritual attack. The enemy wants to convince you that without your fury, you are weak and failing. It's a lie. Yeah, honestly, the complacency that I've been feeling these past 3 months since my confirmation, yeah, I've definitely felt a lot of spiritual attacks. Obviously, after my confirmation, I was so on fire. It was like the convert zeal. But the spiritual attacks came from when I tried to continue my old habits. Going to the gym, doing Muay Thai. I started doing Muay Thai less. I started lifting less at the gym. I started taking more breaks from the gym. Like I used to go every day without fail, even if I had an injury. And also I started like being less motivated in my work and you know, yeah, it's definitely been an interesting journey doing all of that. So during all of that, so with this new phase in my life, man, I wish that would stop. I hope it's not bothering you guys too much. I hope you can hear me over that. But anyway, yeah. During these past 3 months, it's been rough. It's been rough. Wishing that I had my old fire back, and then not understanding like, oh, do I go back? But I have so much peace, I can't go back because I've already forgiven this guy truly. So what do I do from there? What do I do from here? Right? So yeah, still figuring it out. But you guys have helped me in the past 3-4 days. JD calling it out, Mike sending me all those videos, and Butterfly Effect for all the wisdom from Watchman Nee. Like, you three have helped me a lot these past few days and given me a lot to think about. So I appreciate it, for real. I'll leave you with this. The more quiet your mind becomes, the more you can hear and feel the Spirit's intuition and discern every next step you take. You must stay vigilant with the armor of God. Ephesians 6, 10 to 8. Yeah, or 10 to 18. Yeah. Stand firm in the peace, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, I do pray for that almost pretty much every day, because my patron is Saint Michael. My patron is Saint Michael the Archangel, and I say his prayer pretty much every day. And so I'm well equipped and well looked after. But of course, there's always more I can do to guard up. So I appreciate that. Yeah, and ever since I've been Catholic, because, you know, a lot of my Catholic friends, funnily enough, a lot of my Catholic friends, they'll admit it. They'll admit that, like, Protestants know their Bibles better than the Catholics do. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm quoting scripture to them, and they're just like, oh, I forgot about that. Or, like, they'll say, does it really say that? And I'm like, yeah. So, yeah, it's funny. It's funny. It's funny because there's so many prayers. Like, I got into the prayers. Like, there are prayers there's a ton of prayers. Prayers to saints. There's prayers to different litanies as well. And when I pray them, it's such beautiful prayers. And I get it. I'm getting into those. Meanwhile, like, if I go to adoration, right? If I go to adoration, I'm praying the whole time. And I'll look around. Sometimes I'll, like, look around and I'll see people reading their Bibles, right? And I'll see people pretty much doing just that, reading their Bibles or you know, going through certain books and stuff like that. But for me, I'm just praying. And it's fun. It's such a funny like dynamic, right? Because I come from a Protestant background, and I have my sponsor. I went to adoration with my sponsor. He's been Catholic his whole life. He's a cradle Catholic, and so he'll go to adoration wanting to know more about the Bible and the Gospels, and, like, trying to memorize verses and mark down verses and write down verses. And those are all stuff I can quote already. But I don't know most of the prayers. I don't know most of the litanies. And so that's the kind of stuff I bring to adoration, because I've been, you know, I had never heard of these prayers before. And when I read them and when I pray them, they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful prayers that I want to pray. And so I do. And it's a really interesting dynamic. But yeah, that's why, you know, it does feel I'm trying not to be puffed up about it. And I'm using the prayers and the sacraments as, like, a way to humble me, because I could go to these Catholics, my fellow Catholics, and say, you know, I could quote these verses and I can quote all this from this chapter and this verse and all that stuff, but they have me beat on prayers. They've been taking the sacraments longer than I have, and so it's kind of like, look, keep me humble, keep me honest, and I've got so much more to learn. So yeah, and I thought that way when I was a Protestant as well. It's like, there's always so much to learn about the Lord. This whole chapter of my life going right now is another like learning experience, another place where I could discover more about the Bible and think back on verses that I not overlooked, but now have a lot more meaning to me and to my situation. So it's great. It's fantastic. It's truly an endless treasure trove of wisdom. So and it's applicable to everybody at every stage of life. Whether you're old, whether you're young, there's always something for you when you open that book. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys for tonight. Tomorrow is Monday, so I'll be trying to, hit the ground running. I'm going to go to the gym. I didn't go to the gym at all last week because of my cough. I'm feeling a little better. We'll see how it goes, but I'm going to try my best. And I've also got to edit this video. So all that footage you saw in the beginning, I'm going to be editing this after this recording's done. So I got to edit this video and submit it, and then try to get as much sleep as possible. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your wonderful comments. And I hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July. I hope you guys celebrated well. Let me know what you did in the comments. I think I asked that question last time, but let me know what you guys did in the comments and how your guys' NoFap journeys are going. I always want to check in with you guys because, I'm checking in with you guys almost every day, but I want to know what you guys are up to. So let me know. Let me know in the comments. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you all for watching. Peace.